Okay, good, thank you.
So my name is Amy Holman. I'm part of Mineral County's Critical Incident Stress Management Team. We primarily help support first responders who have experienced traumatic calls. However, we understand that sometimes these calls expand to our community, so we recognize the importance of being able to come together and support each other. So that's what we're doing today. I just wanted to give a few updates for everyone. This is an ongoing investigation, so we're not here to talk about any of the details of that investigation. However, we're here to provide support for everyone who is there. We understand that this has a ripple effect. So that is what we're going to be covering today. So ground rules. I already got ahead of myself. So if you happen to share in this space, please don't share any details of the investigation. We do have a plan for everyone who witnessed the event to actually be able to separate with some of our mental health providers from the community and be able to further discuss that. But not everybody in here saw the same thing, and we don't want to further traumatize anybody. So that being said, that space is available, and we'll give more details about that shortly. Again, not a place to ask questions. The Sheriff's Office will release a statement as soon as they're able to, so just please watch for that announcement from our sheriffs. And a note to press, if we have press available, I ask you please be respectful of our grieving community. And then resources. We have quite a few resources for everybody. Where is Patty Curtin? Patty Curtin, okay, right here. So Patty Curtin brought some information regarding victim compensation forms. So please check in with her before you go. If you have any concerns, at least grab a business card from Patty. Thank you. At this time, we have one of our mental health providers that's going to come up and actually go through one of the sheets that was handed out. There's pretty common things that happen when we're exposed to traumatic events. So she's going to talk about what some of those are, how we can support each other, how we can stay healthy through this event. And with that, I'll hand it off to Ms. Luana.
You can't hear us? Okay, you might need to be closer. I'll try.
Is that any better? Is that louder? I'm Luana McGuffey. I'm a mental health provider. And how many of you got some handouts? Most everybody. If you didn't get handouts, we have enough for everybody. If we run out, we'll print more. You should have a stapled set and then a front and back one. If you don't have one right now, maybe you could share with the neighbor, but we will for sure get one in your hand before you leave if you want it. This one that's stapled is a little more specific. There's some overlap between the two, but this one is to help educators and parents with traumatized children. It's a very, very good resource. The one that I'm going to go over in a little detail is the other one that is front and back. I like to start on the page that looks like this, that's got the box on it. When we witness and sometimes even hear about traumatic events, some very common things can happen to our minds and bodies. And sometimes we feel that maybe we're different or we process things differently, and everybody is an individual. But I'd like to go over the list of things that can happen when you're having a stress reaction. And I'd also like to say before I start, if you feel these things, it means that you've been affected in some way. It doesn't mean that you're going to have long-lasting effects. And starting early to do some things to keep yourself healthy is your best avenue of staying healthy. We're holistic. We have our minds, our bodies, our emotions, and our behaviors. And so I'm going to start with the physical. When people have been traumatized, any of these things can happen. Maybe not all of them, maybe one or two. You You can have chills, extreme thirst, fatigue, nausea, fainting, twitches, vomiting, dizziness, weakness, chest pain, headaches, elevated blood pressure, rapid heartbeat, muscle tremors, shock symptoms. You can start grinding your teeth at night or even during the day. You can have visual difficulties, profuse sweating, difficulty breathing, and there are other things that an individual could experience because of trauma. I'd like to encourage you, if you're having these things, think about it. Is this a trauma response? Is this a stress response? Do I need to talk to someone? Cognitive, I won't go through all of them, but I'll direct you to that column. I think some of the ones that people might not be as aware of is difficulty identifying objects and people, disorientation. Sometimes you know something's not quite right, but you're not really sure what it is. Nightmares, very, very common. I guess that's probably one of the stereotypical stress responses that people think of. Hypervigilance. You know, if you are having a hard time feeling safe and you're watching around corners, that can be a stress response. Suspiciousness, intrusive images, anything that interferes with what you would normally do. If you're normally a math whiz and you're having trouble doing your math, or if you're normally outgoing and you're withdrawing, changes in the way that you use your brain. Any of those can be a stress reaction. On the emotional side, of course, we have fear, guilt. If you weren't there and just left or felt like you should have been there, if you were there and you survived without getting injured and someone else didn't, all those things can bring on guilt. Grief, panic, denial, anxiety, agitation, irritability, depression, intense anger, apprehension, emotional outbursts, feeling overwhelmed, loss of emotional control, inappropriate emotional response. Any of those can be an indicator that your emotions are processing and responding to the situation that you were exposed to. Behaviorally, and these especially for parents and people who are in charge of other people, who have authority over other people, this is an easy one to begin to watch for in others. If their behavior changes, if they withdraw, if they become antisocial, if they can't rest. You can see the rest of that list. Change in social activity, I think, is a pretty good indicator often when people are struggling to deal with something. Any one of these on its own can be sufficient for you to pursue some help dealing with this. It might look like mental health help. It might look like visiting with a trusted friend or loved one. Certainly there are mental health professionals. I'm just one. There are numerous ones in this community who have made a commitment to be available to any of you, and there should be no cost barriers. On the other side, these are some things to keep you healthy going forward. Many people get exposed to traumatic events. Few people actually develop post-traumatic stress disorder. And that's because we kind of naturally start to do some of these self-preservation things. And if you would look at that back of that page with me, within the first 24 to 48 hours, periods of appropriate physical exercise alternated with relaxation will alleviate some of the physical reactions. So if you like to walk, walk. If you work out in the gym, work out in the gym. It's probably not a good time to take on a really strenuous exercise program if you haven't been exercising, but for sure physical movement helps us to process better. Understand that you're normal, that don't label yourself as crazy. However your mind and body responds to stress and to trauma is normal. There's a wide range of normal. Reach out. I'm skipping over some of these, but one that I really don't want to skip over is if you're an alcohol drinker, if you're a drug user, if you self-medicate with food, this is probably not the best time to do those things in the first 48 hours. Give your body its best opportunity to respond well. Give it lots of water, lots of rest, and healthy food. Maintain your schedule as normally as possible. Spend time with others, don't isolate. Some people like to journal. Some people paint. Some people sing and dance to express the things that are going on inside. Any of those things that work for you could be very healthy. Do things that feel good to you. Realize that you're under stress. You're recovering from an injury. It's an emotional, physical, psychological injury, and you're recovering. And that takes energy and it takes time. Don't make any big life changes in the first week or so, especially the first 48 hours. Put off as many big decisions as you can for a little bit, not forever, for a week or so. Don't try to fight recurring thoughts, dreams, or flashbacks. They're normal, and they will decrease over time and become less painful. And it talks about eating regular meals. If you're a family member supporting someone who's traumatized by this bottom part, pay particular attention to that. I won't go over it. But if you know somebody who's hurting, who's worried, who's distressed over this, pay particular attention to that. I want to thank you guys for coming, and I'd like to ask for all of us to come together because of this event. It was an unfortunate, tragic event. I'm thankful that there was no more loss of life, but this is a really good opportunity for us to pull together and support each other and not be divisive and have, just to support each other. Thank you.
Thanks, Luana. Okay, so that being said, we thanked you all for coming together. One thing that I would really like to take a moment to do is thank all of our first responders. They're smashed all over the I don't think I could have asked for a better thank you. So again, I appreciate everybody coming together. That being said, I know that there are a few people who would really like to personally thank those that were involved. Before I open it up for everyone, I just wanted to remind everyone to not share any details, but if you would like to come up and thank people that were involved in this event, I would like to open it up with our first person here. After that, we'll go ahead and break off for everyone who was involved. You're welcome to go to, is it the cafeteria? Yes, see Luana? Yes. So you guys can go with Luana after this.
Big surprise. I didn't know if I was actually going to come to this, but one of the reasons I did was because I can't imagine having this happen in a city where I wouldn't know anyone. It was, for me, the most terrifying situation, having my son with me. And yet, when I walked in here, I saw so many faces that I know that are my friends and care deeply about me, and I care deeply about you. What is so amazing to me that I think I just have to say is, this isn't something that anyone can ever imagine, but there was some beauty that day. I saw people do things for others that just little acts and little things that comforted those that were struggling, or just little things that made me so proud to live here. Strangers, people that aren't from here got to witness why I love Mineral County, of the people here. But for me personally, I don't remember how long things took and things that were happening so fast, but I do remember seeing law enforcement and knowing at that point that my son was going to be okay. Things were going to be all right. And my friends, God was watching over us because it had so much potential to be so much worse on it. And there is nothing I can say or do to express how I feel for the law enforcement, first responders there. So never been in a situation where something went so fast to be something so terrifying, so uncontrollable, and then seeing people come in and take control of it, and then allowing people to grieve, and then be having people there for them. I just, I think every day that I decided to live here and be with you all, because, together, regardless of anything, we come together and are there for people. And, I'm just grateful for all of you, especially first responders, people that were holding my hands and I was holding theirs when we were scared. Seeing you here today and being able to know that we'll get through this, and it just means a lot. I just want you to know just how precious I value you guys' friendship. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Lance. Is there anybody else from the crowd that has anything that they want to say? I know it's scary getting up here and talking in my name. Okay, yeah. We have to thank you to everyone. I will. I second. Yep, come on up.
So I'm from Kalispell. We love to come to the St. Regis Travel Center, and wasn't expecting what happened to happen. I know our experience was not nearly as traumatic as what some other people went through. I don't know, there was a store clerk that ran back to the gift shop near the toys that guided a bunch of us into a storage area to hide. And I don't know if she's here, but if she sees this, thank you, honey. I really appreciate you looking out for other people. And so we were back in there, and it got kind of scary, and thankfully she had guided us to a place where there was an exit door, and bolted out of that door. And I can't even tell you what a beautiful sight it was to have law enforcement right there in the alleyway. What a comfort to see those guys doing their job. It's just, and I'm just in awe, and I just have a snapshot in my mind. So just thank you so much. So everybody that did what they could to keep people safe, I just have nothing but gratitude. Thank you.
Thanks for sharing that. Anybody else? And thank you guys for doing a great job not sharing any details.
Hi, I'm Jay. I work at the travel center, and I was there when it happened. I won't share details, but I think we can all relate to that feeling of fear And that was a lot for a lot of us. Not knowing what was happening was really scary. And I think the best part for me was when I got outside and I saw all the law enforcement there. And I cannot thank them enough because finally I felt safe. And that's something that I can never thank you enough for. It was just a really hard day. And I'm proud of all of us for getting through it. And it could have ended a lot worse, but thanks to our law enforcement, it didn't. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to hear just a couple words from Sheriff Funk here, and then we'll open it back up if anybody else wants to share.
Pulling that up just a little bit. Everybody hear me all right? First of all, I want to thank a couple of command staff of officers who were involved in the shooting. First of all, Sean Fielders from Sanders County. Come on up. At the request, he sent 2 officers here, and without a doubt, they showed up and they assisted us as a team, and I appreciate him and everything he's done. He's been the sheriff since January 1st also, so it's one of those leap of faith where we're starting to grow together as a unity, county to county. So when incidences like this happen, we're able to call on each other and ask for help. So just another applause. Next is going to be Sean Smalley, Sergeant of the Montana Highway Patrol. This thing actually moves, so sorry. I'm kind of a leader. Since coming to Mineral County, Sean's been a staple to this community, and I couldn't ask for it.
Don't do it.
Do it. Do it. Do it.
I couldn't ask for a better friend and coworker. In saying that, if I have questions, Sean answers them. If Sean can't find answers, he finds somebody to answer them. We've always had our back, always had our community's back. At any point in time, we've been called out. We leave our families. He's got a lot more kids than I do, so bless his heart. But at an instant's notice, we leave our families, we leave our loved ones, and we, come to the forefront and, put our lives in danger. That's what we signed up for, and that's what we do. So when this incident happened, Sean had, I believe, a couple troopers in the area, one that was involved, and I just want to, you guys to again appreciate him and appreciate his trooper that was involved in protecting this community. I guess you guys can go over there and get out of the limelight. And as Amy stated, this is an ongoing investigation. We're looking at more information on where the disconnect was from Idaho to Montana, and I assure you we're going to look into all avenues and see what we can do better in the future. But a statement will be released from the Mineral County Sheriff's Office when we conclude our investigation. Thank you.
So I can share, totally being in the background of this incident. It has been phenomenal learning about all of the different agencies, not only within our county, but as Ryan talked about, multi-jurisdictional, all of the people who got involved in this incident. So I know that there's a lot of people that aren't here, so I do just want to hold space and acknowledge that we recognize that this has been expanded, and we appreciate everyone, whether they're here tonight or not. That being said, I think we might be ready to kind of break off. Let's see, so let me give you a few directions. Luana is happy to take, and Carissa, do you mind leaving? So anyone who was there at the incident, that directly witnessed the incident, and would like to speak with a group, you guys are welcome to go and follow these two gals to the cafeteria. And then anyone else who wants to hang out, to support each other, to talk, we're here, we're happy to talk. We do have other mental health people who are happy to visit with you one-on-one. Can I get hands? I'm not seeing. We got Tyler and Jordan. And we may have a few other in the room. But yeah, if you guys want to individually speak with someone, we've got people here that can do that. If you want to grab a card, check in with someone later, you can do that too. We're really here to be flexible and just let you know that we support you as a community, as a county. And I'm so appreciative for everybody coming tonight. I think that will wrap it up. Luana's giving me the thumbs up, so okay. So for those of you who did witness and would like to speak, you are more than welcome to meet out here in the hall, and you guys can walk down to the cafeteria. Okay.
Thank you.